Hey everyone, welcome back to another penny stock video, and today we're going to be looking at penny stock comeback stories because 2024 is really leading into being a big comeback for the penny stock market in general. A lot of these OTC stocks specifically, as well as small caps, have been beaten down quite a bit over the past couple of years, as we've been in a bit of a bear market for speculative assets. But we really have seen a lot of signs of that turning around recently. OTC has started the year off very strong with many runners, and we've also seen higher volume days in OTC, generally over $2 billion in volume lately, daily, which is really, really nice to see, right? I mean, there was a time in, I think it was early 2023, where we had some under $1 billion days. Like there was a day where there was like $700 million total volume, and that was atrocious, and it sucked trading. And so now we're into much brighter times, with even brighter times ahead, I believe, because a lot of these stocks still have not corrected upwards, right, from the bear market on speculative stocks. So as we approach what seems to be a bit of a bullish cycle for these speculative assets, we really need to look at what are the stocks that can see big comebacks, big turnarounds, right? So we're going to be really focused on that in this video. So I've selected 4 stocks to go over, and we're going to take a look at each one of them really briefly and going to go over what I like about them and why I think there's upside, right? So IGPK, first and foremost, obviously a very popular one on social media. If you're on Twitter, you've probably seen this ticker. Essentially, it's a shell that just was purchased by a massive Chinese e-commerce company, Junfeng Huang. And there was a lot of speculation around, is this really Junfeng Huang buying this shell? Yada, yada, yada. And here, basically over the weekend, we found this due diligence, which I posted on Twitter, which shows the Junfeng Huang customer service page on Chinese TikTok confirming that IGPK is the ticker they have. So very big Chinese merger coming in here, and because of that due diligence and everything that's been happening, we see a big reversal setting up on IGPK. This is actually the 5-year time frame, just to show you the amount of room that this stock has to run to really, complete the comeback story, right? We're looking at, really a key level here at 0.128, which is well above a penny, significant upside from here. And that's what I see as like our first real, must break this area type of thing. We have some minor resistance here at 0.07, but really nothing too bad. So there's just tons of room on this chart. You can see it ran as far as 3 cents in the past. Share structure is relatively similar as well. So this is a comeback story in the making for sure. You can see we've based above the 200-day moving average here too, which is now acting as support, which is really, really bullish. I've talked about this. If you're not in our Think Tank Telegram room, I have a whole mini lecture series there called Simple Swing, and I discuss how bullish this is when a stock can break above the 200 MA and then use this as support. It implies significant upside, not just in the short term, but on a zoomed out time frame like this as well. So that's IGPK. Next, we're going to be looking at RWGI. This is a stock I did cover about 2 weeks ago in a video. I covered it independently. So if you want to see more research regarding this company, you can go check out that video. It was just a couple of videos ago. But this one has continued to perform really well. I mean, it's holding its gains like a beast because this was around 2-3 cents not long ago, just a few weeks back. It made a move up to, this 7-cent area, and it has held all those gains for weeks now. Very small float here of just 11 million shares. And we've talked about how when there's large demand and low supply of shares in the market, you can really see parabolic moves on these low float stocks, right? So let's take a look at the chart. And the chart to me is super, super bullish. Again, we're on a 5-year time frame. I'll zoom in a little more. We'll go to the 2-year time frame for this one, because you can see that, look how this stock was beaten down and essentially dead during the bear market period for speculative stocks. And now that penny stocks are heating up again and we're talking about this comeback era, we have something really cool shaping up on this chart. There's a couple super bullish things about this chart. The first thing to note is this golden cross, which is an extremely rare, super bullish setup. So we've talked about this in videos previously. It does not happen very often, a golden cross, especially on a daily time frame like this on the charts, right? It'll usually maybe happen once a year. And when a golden cross does happen, it's typically followed by a very large move. You can see last time we had a golden cross on this stock, if we look here, it was April 2022 or March 2022. And you can see I've drawn this horizontal purple line. That's our major resistance / support level. This is the key level on this stock. And you can see that the last time we had a golden cross here, the stock broke above this major level and did a huge run to 15 cents. And so I believe it's setting up for a very similar move because we have the golden cross. And again, we've broken above this key resistance level now, and the stock is holding above the key resistance level. So this means we can expect this soon to begin acting as support. And as these moving averages pull up, the support's only going to get stronger. And really, I mean, this thing just looks like it's very much pending another breakout here. The company's put out nothing but positive news as well. They did recently provide a shareholder update. I suggest go reading this whole press release on otcmarkets.com. You can see they put out a 2024 to 25 roadmap here, and they're expecting monthly revenues estimated $2.5 million USD by April through June 2024. So within that quarter, they're expecting monthly revenues to go up to 2.5 million USD. They're doing huge expansion of their cannabis license portfolio, multiple cultivators. They're expanding different subsidiaries, increasing management distro sales. A lot of things going on here. They actually have a weed delivery service they're launching. They have a bunch of dispensaries opening up, etc. So this company's performing really well. They haven't diluted a share, and the chart here is really looking primed for the next move. So RWGI, another potential big-time comeback story for this year. Here's another old favorite, which we've covered before, which is OSCI. And OSCI has retraced significantly since the last time we covered it. So the last time we covered OSCI, it was around 2 cents, and it did do a run all the way up to 8 cents. So it had a really, really nice move. And that was because basically they got pink current again, and they started mining, and they actually have quite a bit of gold at this mine, and they're pulling a lot of gold out of the ground. But now it's retraced significantly because it's the winter season, so these junior miners aren't as active during the winter months. So they recently announced here on their Twitter, if we go to their Twitter page here, you can see that they just announced January 19th, good morning shareholders, we're pleased to be back to pink current status. We plan on reopening the mine between February 20th and March 5th. There will be a series of announcements leading into and throughout this period. So essentially what we're working with is we have the same really strong fundamentals that pushed this stock to almost 8 cents last time, and that mine is about to reopen, and it's cheaper than ever now. So it really presents a great swing trade opportunity because once they reopen this mine and they start pulling gold out of the ground again, then there's going to be a lot of appeal to this ticker. And they also said they have a series of announcements, so there's probably going to be some PRs, things like that. So a lot to be excited about with OSCI, and it's a trade we've made many times throughout the years. You can see it had massive runs in the past. If we zoom into the 1 year here, I believe it's setting up quite nicely for another move because look at this 50 MA right here. You see the price is just about a crack above that. And once the price cracks above the 50 MA, our swing trading methods tell us that we have room to the 200 MA, which is almost 100% from here. So that alone is a good move. And then if you get over the 200 MA, then there's room back up to almost 8 cents, right? So you have to know your levels and you have to play your levels. But to me, this very much looks like a stereotypical chart coming off bottom, ready to make a move, right? I've seen this set up many times, and typically you get a nice upswing from here. So considering that the pending catalysts here are significant, and that the chart is set up for an upswing, I think it's very much worth watching for a trade. And then lastly, we have another really exciting mining stock here, which is CNRCF. So this is kind of a newcomer to the block in the fact that they only recently dual listed to the US exchanges here. You can see they have an outstanding shares of under 50 million, so they have a really tight share structure, really, really nice. And this is a very legit and well-established lithium miner in Canada. And if we take a look at their news here, it's actually really exciting. There's three really specific PRs I want to highlight here. So we're going to open all these up. And I'll start with the more recent one. So here we have Cantor secures DTC eligibility and provides end-of-year updates. And the thing I really want to highlight from this update is they successfully closed $3.2 million in private placement, and that's just their first tranche. An expectation of closing a final tranche during early Q1 2024, which is, now. So any day now, we could be getting really significant multi-million-dollar funding news for this company. And obviously that would be very bullish. And the fact that they've already raised $3.2 million, I mean, they're doing a great job of raising money and of funding this operation. And this is a big lithium mining operation, so they need this money. And the fact that they were able to close on it through a private placement deal, so it's really not even dilutive to shareholders, is fantastic. And it tells us that there's no need for dilution, right? Because they have lots of cash now. So that alone is super bullish. Then we'll talk about, which they PR'd just recently on January 17th, Cantor Resources technical team mobilizes to site for field work and drill program preparation. So this is really important because they talk about how they want to start drilling in this quarter, right? So it says right here, within the current quarter. And basically, obviously, when you have a mine with valuable resources in the ground, drilling and getting those resources out of the ground is a major step. And typically speaking, with these junior miners, the stock price will appreciate significantly as the company proves that, hey, we can get these resources out of the ground. So that's going to be a huge catalyst as well. So not only do we have major funding anticipated to be announced here soon, but we also have drilling operations about to begin. And obviously lithium's one of the hottest rare materials around right now. And then lastly, I want to take a look at this here. Cantor Resources appoints Jones Lang as CEO and director. So this happened in November. And this is really significant because if you look at what Mr. Lang has worked on, part of his experience here is Maple Leaf mining, right here, Maple Gold Mines. Okay? So if we take a look at Maple Gold Mines, you can see it had a tremendous run, huge run. So it's obvious that right, that Mr. Lang here is very good and knowledgeable and experienced with the junior mining sector, and he had huge success on Maple Gold Mines here during his time with this company. You can see how well the stock price appreciated. You know, I mean, this is almost this is actually more than a 10x move that this stock made. So same management here on CNRCF, which is super bullish. Now you see our chart here doesn't show us much yet because, like I said, it did just recently dual list onto the U.S. markets. So we don't have a lot of historical chart to work off of. But what we do know is this. Look, the price is right back down to its initial listing price before the price popped up again, right? So you would think that it's a really good deal here, because I also want to show you here, if we look at this guy's last mining company, Maple Gold, if we go back to when this initially dual listed, we can see it had a very similar pattern where it shot up and then it retraced right back to these original prices. And then you see after that retrace, it had another really big move. All right, a huge move here after the retrace. So I think, you know, we're kind of right here on the CNRCF chart, right? It had that initial retrace, and now it's looking like it's ready to do another swing back up. And you can see its last swing with not much volume almost did $1, which is more than 100% from these prices. So really significant upswing potential there. And of course, for folks that did buy in this area on Maple Gold, you know, it resulted in many profitable trades, right? I mean, this was a huge move. Then you see it retrace, but then it did an even bigger move. So, you know, mining is a very cyclical sector. So all mining stocks will typically have big swings like this. And really the key is to trading and investing in these junior miners is you just buy when it's cheap and you wait for the cycle. And so this is cheap here. And so do you want to be buying when it's cheap, or do you want to wait till the cycle's already kicked in and you're buying high, right? Sometimes it doesn't have to be rocket science. It's really just buy low, sell high. But in this case, right, we have very strong fundamentals, good management, excellent funding, and more PRs to come for CNRCF. So this is a really nice foreign ticker to keep a look at these Canadian miners. By the way, it's one of the hottest sectors in Canada, booming industry there. So, these guys have typically performed really well in the past. So, and in recent history, right? So again, CNRCF, definitely keep this one on your radar as well. That concludes the tickers I wanted to look at for today, guys. Again, just to go over it, we have IGPK, the big China merger. RWGI, chart setting up for a move, I think, to 15 cents at least, right? Just based on technicals here. Osceola Gold, they're reopening their mine late February. So that's a major catalyst. Obviously, charts at like super, super bottom. Very, very cheap here. And then CNRCF, which has funding news and drilling beginning very soon. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.